I have two tiger's eye stone, and I will have the tutorial on how to make wire jewelries with both, and I would start with one of them and would keep the other to have the next tutorial. But with the first one, I would make the wire ring, and the main structure is a 2 millimeter in thick wire. Of course, a ring mandrel is necessary to make a wire ring, and also our main tools, round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and wire cutter is needed. And for the wrapping parts and to attach the stone to the main structure, we would need a thinner wire of about 0.5 millimeter in thick. First, pick up your mandrel and 2 millimeter thick wire, and we need to mark the ring size on the mandrel. We had some ways to do that, and in this video I'm going to tell you another way. Just pick up a used wire and just wrap it all around the mandrel and on the size that you approximately think is appropriate for your finger, and then try it out. If it's bigger, no problem. Just put it on a smaller place and squeeze it. And of course, you would do that on a smaller area on the ring mandrel to make it smaller, and then check it out. I think it's good now. And again, put it on the ring mandrel, and at the appropriate place, just mark with a marker pen or pencil. And you could do that vice versa for the rings that are smaller, just by putting them on a bigger area on the ring mandrel. So that is the mark of my ring size on the mandrel, and you could make one for yourself. And I'm going to wrap the 2 millimeter thick wire all around this area, and I would put it on the mandrel, and I'm going to wrap it all around. And don't forget, as the wire is thicker, it's harder to shape, and I'm really trying to wrap it all around the circle. And be careful to wrap it all around the line that you had marked. As you can see, the starting point is very difficult to be pushed with your finger, so you could use your round nose pliers to form it better, and then put it on the ring mandrel again, another point that you had marked, and with the plastic part of your tool, you could just have a pressure. It's really hard to do that better. And I'm going to continue wrapping it for the other tail, and a little more than one round wrap. I mean, at the starting point, I would continue that for about 7 or 8 millimeters, or as the size that you desire, and I'm going to cut it with the wire cutter. And it's of course a thick wire, and you need to have a strong wire cutter. Maybe that would be a little difficult. And if your wire cutter would be weak, just like this one, it may damage your tool. So be careful to use and select a proper tool. I would again insert the ring onto the ring mandrel, and do the same for the ending point to push it with the plastic part of my round nose pliers and to shape it with those pliers. Okay, that is perfect. I would test it out, and it's something like this. And this is the time we are going to add the stone or bead as you desire at the middle of this main structure. You could keep this structure like it is, or you could make some hammering parts at the start and ending point, and I'm going to do so. Pick up your hard hammer, the hard surface of course, and the hard hammer, and place the start and ending point on the surface and start to hammering those parts to make them flatten. That would be something like this with a pattern on, and that is so beautiful and shiny. But the problem is the sharp edges at the start and ending point. And also, these two parts are straight and we need to make them rounded again. With the plastic part of your tool, it's not enough because as you hammer the wire, it would be even stronger. So with the hard hammer, you need to push it a little harder, and of course we need more pressure. So we hammer the start and ending point. That would be something like this. Now let's try it on. It's all good, and this is the time to add the stone, but before we should smooth the sharp edges with jewelry file. We had a tutorial on how to use these jewelry files in one of the tutorials that I put the link above, and I would use the jewelry file like this, but for the thicker wires it's easier to fix the jewelry file and then to move the piece on it. Just like this, I'm going to move the ring structure and the wire onto the jewelry file. It's better and easier. And I would do that for both ends. Even you could use the jewelry file to have scratches and a beautiful pattern on the surface. So I would do that and use the jewelry file onto the surface of the ring, and the result is just beautiful. Look at it, it's shiny and with little scratches on it. Now this is the time to add the stone or bead or even pearl as you desire. I would squeeze it a little and then place the stone in between, and as you can see it's a little small, and I would pull it a little and then to place the stone in between, and now I would squeeze it to be fit, and this is the perfect place. And to attach the stone to this main structure, I would need the thinner wire of about 0.5 millimeter thick. So I would have a very little wire coiling at one side, and I would use my round nose pliers to wrap it all around and do that for at least 3 or 4 times. A wire coiling part is made just like this, and I'm going to cut the wire out, but before, if Any additions needed, do that and squeeze those wire coiling parts. I would cut the wire about 5 centimeters out of that structure and then put the stone in between. Now I'm going to make another wire coiling part at the other tail, just like this. And again, I would use my round nose pliers. Okay, if I repeat that wire coiling the same, that seems to be finished, but wait, there is a problem here. And this is the problem, that it is not the size of your finger, because the stone is spherical and a little small for your finger. So the point here is, before you start to make the second wire coiling part, again, insert it into your ring mandrel and then start to make that wire coiling part and to wrap it all around the second part. And this time, move the wire beneath the structure and continue coiling it and wrapping it all around the second tail. And also to place your finger beneath the stone, not to move inside. So this would be the result, and now it's usable and it's okay now. So the point is to place your finger beneath and then to make the second wire coiling part. And that's it. The very beautiful wire ring with the tiger's eye is ready. We would have the tutorial on how to make the bracelet on the next tutorial. So stay tuned and follow up the tutorials. Or you could use this wire ring with a chain bracelet that we had a tutorial, and I would place the link above, and hope you could make one and enjoy it so much. Take care and bye-bye.